Hey folks, welcome. It is 11/11/2020, and that means it's Veterans Day. And to all of you men and women that have already served or are still serving, thank you for your service. We're delighted that we live in a country made free by folks like you, so thank you. And I'm sitting here with Andrew Coffey. Andrew is, the video man extraordinaire.
I'm just a camera guy.
Just a camera guy. Just like Steven Seagal. I'm just a cook. But we're sitting here thinking about our friend, Joe Anderson.
Yeah, that's right. You sent
from
me that
Benovia.
video today. The Benovia winery. You sent me a link to, what was it, a Gary Sinise talking about this thing?
Yeah.
It's a great, we almost did this thing here, folks. I'm going to show you a clip of it real quick here.
In 2019, a squadron of 15 World War II era airplanes crossed the North Atlantic for the first time in 75 years. I'm Gary Sinise, and I'm inviting you to watch Into Flight Once More, a film that commemorates the remarkable sacrifices of the greatest generation and the planes that helped them do it.
Props are in high RPM. Throttles are set for half.
Mixtures
Mixtures are in idle cutoff.
trim.
I've got it set bottom of the green arc.
Yeah, full pressure.
Full pressure, 29.
Before start's complete.
I'm ready for start.
I'm the last one left of the Pathfinders from World War II. I'm going over to France, at the end of the month. Going to fly across the channel again in a Nuremberg. Yes.
Yeah. Gary Sinise, fabulous guy. Obviously, here in Chicago, he's very highly thought of. An award-winning actor, and he's got the Gary Dan Band or something like that.
Yeah,
and he was in Forrest Gump with that, of course. And he's a Steppenwolf co-founder, I think, of the Steppenwolf Theater here in Chicago.
Because his picture's down on the theater when I go down there.
Yeah. And he has a foundation
That's
where,
legit.
oh yeah, it is. And, he and Malkovich and, so many great actors have come out of there. But Gary was just so taken by his role in Forrest Gump as a military veteran in Vietnam that lost his legs, that he has a foundation that supports veterans of our military. So we salute you, Gary, for that. And by the way, our friend, again, Joe Anderson at Benovia Winery, this is his Liberation Pinot Noir. And every bottle of that you buy, $15 goes towards the Gary Sinise Foundation to support veterans, folks. $10 from Benovia and $5 from Joe and Mary Anderson. So it's a fabulous way to thank the veterans and for you to have a nice Pinot.
Hey, I see Russian River. That's nice.
It's good stuff, folks.
But the thing with this video, if you watch this, we're going to put a link to it in there. They take a DC-3 and they flew it over, but they had to do the same route that FDR approved to go over Europe, and there was like maybe 12, 13 planes. And those planes are really expensive to upkeep, and Joe has one, upkeeps it, and then has his pilots fly over there, and they did the jumps over there, and it was like, God, 2019 now. You tried to get me on the flight, maybe to film a little bit of stuff, and there was no room for me. But that would have been fun. That would have been, I would have done it.
Yeah, it would have been one of those, it's a bucket list item. You didn't even know that bucket existed.
And it wouldn't be like some 10-minute flight out of, Jersey or something that's, $450 to fly like on a bomber. They ain't cheap.
Right.
But this could be like, that would have been like 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
On a DC-9. So anyway,
Hopped up to Nova Scotia, hopped over, to like Greenland and to Ireland, and then over into the European continent. I mean,
it's a great video. I'm going to put a link to it in the bottom here.
Yeah. So and they did that to celebrate the 75th anniversary of D-Day, which was 2019, June, in 2019, June was the 75th commemoration of, the sacrifice that was made by all
Seems like
those.
100 years ago.
Yeah, seems like a long
All right,
time.
so we got a couple things coming up here. You're doing the 3 at 3 every day, and I hope that you're watching that. We're trying to make it a little bit better, a little different.
Yep.
Not that it's not great.
Ramping it up.
Ramping it up,
Yep.
people want to see, but unfortunately, people watch stuff on their phones.
Yeah.
We can't help that. I'm
True.
getting a new iPhone, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll
I'm
have
jealous.
I'll
You
have
get it 2 days from now, right? Friday?
Yeah, and my screen will be a little bit bigger, so I can see 3 at 3 a little bit larger. But unfortunately, people aren't watching this stuff on large screens TVs. But forget about that for now.
But we've got a surprise for you.
Well, yeah.
It's not a surprise. We're going to tell you what it is right now.
Let me ask you this. Do you think this is a good idea? To do the live portion, they can ask questions. Not everybody watches it live. We know this because we see X amount and then people watch it at night when they come home. But they do watch.
Yep.
So let's say you put in a question instead of a hashtag, which I hate. We'll do hey, like, hey Siri. Every time I do that, my watch comes on. It goes, what do you want? What do you want? Okay, so we'll do like hey at 3 at 3 _ UOA, which is our Twitter handle for that account. So follow them, and then just write in your question like, hey UOA, whatever the Twitter handle is, and then ask a question, and then put in a little bit, like, don't say, what do you think of Apple? Just, like, you be more detailed in the question, because, we got to fill up the content. And then I'll ask these questions to you at the end of 3 at 3, maybe once, twice a week, or at least definitely by the end of the week, we can do that, and then we can have all the questions gathered. So you think that's a good idea?
I do. I'm looking forward to this, folks, because we're breaking records already with 3 at 3, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time. So I do it live when I'm here in Chicago at 2 o'clock. And we talk about 3 bits of unusual option activity. And then we figure at the end of that, it usually runs 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 12 minutes is probably average. Sometimes it goes a little longer, pushes to 15. But at the end of that, we'll start answering questions. So you guys would be able to ask your question, option question, broad market question, whatever. Like Andrew said, maybe a little deeper, a little more specific than just what do you think of Apple? But, it could be, what do you think of Apple over the next 5 days? Or it could be, I'm in these Apple calls, do you think I should roll them? Or whatever. We will get to that, and we'll start off with answering those questions once a week. And if it's as popular as we believe it will be, then we'll eventually roll into it every day.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is the guy that'll be asking the questions
it's a lot of work
that
for
you
me.
guys will be posing.
Okay, so I'll have my first question. Hey, 3 at 3, UOA.
That's right.
Are you going back to New York? You can ask other questions. Are you going to go back to New York? You're going to go up
Sure. And I am. And he's already been there twice during COVID. I haven't been
You're
back.
You're dying to get out of there.
Oh, I am.
You're dying. You want to get on a
But
plane.
they're not taking anybody into studio. I mean, even anchors like Brian Sullivan, for instance, good friend of mine, Sully, he's not in studio. He's on the road. Wherever he is, he's on the road. He's not back at the mothership at CNBC. Not a lot of people are. But again,
you had a taste this weekend going down to New Orleans.
I did. Had some good old Cajun and Creole cooking. Got a little sad, Andrew, when I went by K-Paul, though, when Chef Paul Prudhomme, that passed away in 2015, now his restaurant has passed away as well, which is sad.
A lot of comments on that. A lot of people have an affection towards New Orleans, which you and I both know. That is sad. But, there'll be other restaurants to fill the place there. But you're dying to get out. You want to get on a plane. How was the flight, by the way?
I want to get on a plane. Maybe not that plane. Thanks, Joe Anderson. But it was 737. So it was just a Boeing 737.
Was there anybody there? Did they have the mask police?
Oh, yeah. And that's the way it is.
You got to put your mask over.
Yeah, you got to have your mask on.
If you're like here, they're like, no, put it here. I'm like, all right, fine. So put out the
But, it was pretty normal. And it was maybe half full, which is odd because to New Orleans, that plane's always, it's like Vegas. New Orleans and Vegas, the planes are always
it cheap?
packed. It was cheap.
Yeah, because I'm seeing some flights to Vegas in January, NFC weekend, like right before the Super Bowl, $75.
Jeez.
Round trip.
Better buy that.
I mean, you got to
ticket
leave
now.
at like 2 in the morning. I mean, this is, no, I think it's like 8 at night. You get there at 11, but still, it's $75. I mean, you'd lose that. That's what's $75 in Vegas. A
Yeah,
steak.
that's one roll.
All right, let's
All
wrap
right.
it up here.
So remember, thank a veteran if you see a veteran. And we do appreciate you veterans for all that you do and did. I think you'll like that video that Andrew's posted for the spirit of Benovia, showing Gary Sinise narrating with all those great men and women that were part of that effort to free France and to basically get the war over.
Yeah.
We look forward to answering questions on 3 at 3. Bang!
I think it was an opportunity to really honor the greatest generation. Very few of them left. We're probably going to lose the rest of them in the next 10 or 15 years. So,
I'm a kid.
what I'd like to see and learn is that freedom takes sacrifice, and we should not forget the men and women that lost their lives for the freedoms we have.